Hello, this is the Harboring Light. I'm Mary. I give a conservative take about the world around me. So my social media links will be provided in this episode along with my email and Substack. So audio platforms. I'm on Audible, Amazon Music. I'm on Spotify for podcasters, Overcast, Pocket Cast. And I am definitely looking to grow to wherever you enjoy your podcast content, that is. I'm on it. So this episode is all about me explaining my new format as far as breaking everything down in the episodes of ahead and my podcast, and also explaining everything for the reasons and why I chose to more in depth about folk art and folk art music and all of that in general with the American artists and the international artists, and just talking about all that, the ins and outs, and then also talking about feedback, and then more about how I'm going to do more interactive things for feedback and everything else. All right, so here we go, and let's dive in. So with my format, what I'm going to do is go and give the background of everything and go even further in a deep analysis about what everything pertains to, give more in-depth comparisons with pop culture, and give more of a background about everything. And I'm also going to give more involved thoughts, particularly from my thoughts about my perspectives, as far as where it be from my point of view, from a family perspective, where it is be from a cultural perspective, as far as the particularly leading on to talking about the aspects of music, my understanding and my appreciation for music, and why I think this about this particular issue, and open up for further discussion. All right, so move along to the next point, which I'm going to talk about my reasons for picking folk music. To add on about analysis, also going even further with pop culture, if there's scientific, mathematical, the historical aspects, within the historical aspects, talking about the psychological, maybe some aspects in that, and addressing that. I'll dive deep within that, and also, again, leave things up for discussion, and within the interaction discussion, where I will address in even more details later on in this episode, for all of you to give feedback and thoughts, and also critiques and comments, concerns, all of those things. All right. So my reasons behind choosing folk music. I think that folk music in particular speaks to a very humbling and simple idea that staying in touch with your roots and expelling on your understanding, your interpretations about everything that's going on in the world around you is really impactful, because it helps to understand and give more depth about the importance of music, of speaking in a way that can shine a light on who we are as humans, who we are as a country, who we are as what we value in our culture, and so on. So, for instance, Simon and Garfunkel and Peter, Paul, and Mary, Mamas and the Papas, Joni Mitchell, Cat Stevens, the list goes on. I'm particularly shining a light on these artists. They were very wildly popular and prevalent during the 60s. And during that time, it was a lot of ever-changing presence going on with culture, raging against culture as far as counterculture with the hippie movement, with the idea of going against the establishment and the militant movement and civil rights, and the idea of establishing traditional values as far as staying at home, working, being all these ideas, and then, of course, women's liberation in the forefront. And speaking out against youth, and youth going in revolt against standing in what they see fit as how they want to coexist in society. Even, let me go back to the traditional values as far as family. And I think it's really important, because there was still a shared notion that unity within the family is important in order to thrive. But it's very interesting, all these different aspects of finding oneself and understanding oneself in a modern world. And all of these ideas were expressed in folk songs, as far as, for instance, Simon and Garfunkel talking about their stance and everything with the Vietnam War, and being in connection with the movie The Graduate, Mrs. Robinson, that song, and talking about what can happen when you're going adrift and being sucked into pressure of not knowing who you are, and you do things that you wouldn't be so proud of. And it's just very interesting. And I think moving outward from the American sense of folk music and going to the international sense and speaking on that, it gives a balance to why folk music is prevalent in different countries. For instance, in Cambodia, Jamaica, Britain, talking about all these different commentaries of how they see the world. And that's why I chose to particularly speak on folk music as a way, and as I already said about, this leads towards me highlighting and talking about all of you listeners that I greatly appreciate, all of your talking about culture, music, all kinds of things, and also feel free to give me feedback of what you would like to hear, and through social media, email, Substack, what you would like to hear, or comments, all of that, because I think it gives highlighting all of you where your hometowns and the culture and all that. It gives a better sense of that through the culture and the differences in the culture, better understanding. And within the better understanding, we get the overall idea that our differences makes us proud about what we value. And then understanding that value, it helps us move on to better solutions about things, and to just to get a better understanding to relate to one another. And so, let me move on to talking about the last part, wrapping everything up, as far as what I will do in the weeks ahead, as far as breaking things down and giving creative clues about the particular artist, and also about different ways I'm going to do as far as linking for support. All right. So also to say this before I get into the rest of the details about the information as far as reach with the viewers, and all as far as creating things better and doing different methods to improve the production and make things better for all of you. I'm also in the thought process of creating merchandise for all of you. Feel free to reach out to me through email, through social media, through Substack. I'm thinking about all of this and all of your thoughts about what type of merchandise you would like to see. All of that would be really important and greatly appreciated. And also, I'm thinking about writing a newsletter, and also that would be included on Substack. So let me go into more details about Substack and why I do it. So Substack is, as I said, a supplement to this podcast. So I like to have a variety as far as the content I'm producing. So if you would like the written form, thought process about different perspectives that I have as far as from a scientific point of view about different things, from things about graphic design, visual communication, and within it, with the marketing strategies within the visual communications, the series I've done about Valentine's, the things that I'm doing now as far as music and my thoughts about music as far as folk music is concerned. You enjoy the written form of that, feel free to go over to Substack and enjoy that. So you can reach out to me through Substack too. And also with the newsletter, it's really good way to be even more engaging with all of you, to hear your thoughts and your questions about different things, as far as things that I cover, things you would like for me to cover, your opinions, everything. And I just think all of these, merging these all together, gives just you great variety. And to know that I really appreciate all you listeners out there, and just trying to give the ranges so you have options. And so as far as mixing things up so the content doesn't feel so stagnant, or if you think it's different things you would like for me to move away from, feel free to reach out to me. I can't stress enough how feedback is really, really important. All right, so on to the next step about as far as reaching support and all of that. All right. Okay, so, and the following weeks and throughout the rest of the episodes of my podcast in the future, what I will do is, for instance, on Monday, break down the person's or the facts about something, and so forth, the background of everything. Then on Wednesday, get more in depth about what the contributions are and what particularly their music, and how, and breaking it down and talking about the particular music and talking about the cultural references. And let's go on to further content in the future, the contributions, and breaking that down, seeing it from different perspectives. If it's maybe it's from a psychological perspective, maybe it's from a scientific perspective, historic, and all so forth. Artistic perspective, just breaking all of those down. And then on Friday, continue it out as far as my thoughts and opinions, and plugging the next show and open up for feedback. And also going back to Monday, I'll do a special shout out for people who get the clues as far as what I will lay out on. I'll do that through X, as far as giving clues about the next episode, and all of that on Friday. I'll do that on Fridays. So, and for my support, I'm going to do something new as far as adding a link for that support. So this particular support is called Buy Me a Coffee. And what that is, Buy Me a Coffee, it is a way you appreciate my content. It's a better alternative instead of doing things on Patreon or so on and so forth, and to support. And also, you want me to go in depth and talk about different things, feel free to do that. And then, you can support that. And all of the support would go towards growing and being better, and getting everything and all that you would like to hear and see, and, improving my production and so on and so forth. And so I'm going to close out with 2 clues about the particular artist on Monday's episode. So it is as follows. And I will also post this on social media. This land and the Great Depression. All right, so this reaches the end of the Harboring Light. Tune in, turn up, and definitely take care. Bye-bye now.